How I built this sexy temperature controlled ice bath for $1,000. First thing, $700 gets it to this functional looking stage, and another $300 gets it looking sexy, which is what we always want. First things first, you got to get yourself a secondhand freezer. Make sure it's white lined. You got to drill 2 holes only. One for the inlet, one for the outlet. Just be careful. There's gas lines in the freezer unit, so you want to start with a small hole, work your way out, make sure you're not going to hit any. After that, you want to set up the water pump's components. I just use basic irrigation lines to extend it into position. So obviously it sucks from the bottom and then goes back in at the top. You then want to get some marine grade adhesive sealant. Spend the money on the good shit, and you want to seal up all the junctions and joins with inside the freezer unit. Then you want to use your sealant, stick on a piece of marine grade plyboard to the freezer. Don't screw into it because you'll hit the gas line like myself and have to buy another freezer. So this is how I mounted the setup. The power board plugs into the wall, which is on a timer. So it just filters and cools at night. So it's not doing it all the time. So the temperature controller turns the freezer on based on the settings you have for the thermostat. So the thermostat is inside the freezer, flicks on when it gets warm, cools down the water, turns back off. This section here obviously picks up the water from the bottom, filters it, runs it through the ozone generator, gets injected, and then the water is then discharged back into the bath, and that's how it all works. What you want to do is then you fill up enough so you can allow your body to displace the water and not overflow it. Bang, job done. I added this little hood to protect the components, and that's it. A $700 ice bath, working, looking ugly as shit. This is the $300 we spent to make it look shit hot. So first, you need to cut strips from your marine grade plywood, slap it on the side of the freezer. I extended this bit through here so I can box out the equipment. Just tape it on, so once it all cures, you'll laugh again. Don't shoot or screw into the side of the freezer unit. So once your straps are cured, tape over any indicator lights, switches, get your black etch primer spray and just spray the entire freezer. Then you're going to pre-cut a shitload of pine strapping. I use 42 by 19 and going for a 10mm gap because it was cheap. So this section here is a cover for the equipment. It has a few screws on the rails on the side, and I've got one screw through the top just to hold it in place. Spray it all black. Now get yourself some black poly adhesive so you can glue and nail the timber rails. I started with either end and then just ran the level on top so it's a nice straight line. Important note, make sure the nails do not pierce into the freezer walls or you could hit the gas pipes. So I had to get some fixing nails and cut them down. The poly does most of the work. The nails are just there to fix it in place. Sidewalls are done, now for the lid. The lid had a slight curve to it, so what I had to do is shoot either end of the timber to keep it down while the actual poly cured overnight. Didn't need to worry, there's no gas pipes in the lid, so it was no issue. We just glued, shot either side, and then just kept going. Did that a gazillion times, and that's it. Easy as. You've got yourself a sexy temperature controlled ice bath for $1,000 to sit in and freeze to death. Good luck.